Welcome. Today we are going to learn about this time series and analysis for the which is very useful for b.com and b.sc people. Yeah, any statistical data in chronological arrangement of statistical data is known as this time series. So any data with respected to the time is also we are going to calling as time series data. So, the composite of variables with respect to the time is called time series. It has a great importance in business economics and time series analysis consisting of two variables. One is a dependent variable and one is another independent variable. Here, uh, time and another one is time series. Hence, the time series is a bivariate data and time series is a function of time. So it is denoted by t1, t2, t3 and so on. In general, ti next tn be the n values of time and the ut1, ut2 and so on utn are the respective values. So then the function is given by ut is equals to f of t. So the time series examples are here. They are sales and profit of departmental stores in a week is a time series data. Next, bank deposit, bank clearance, bank loans, etc. in a month on various days is a time series data. The analysis of data pertaining to time series is called time series analysis. Yeah, so we can see here the time components of time series and various methods to calculate the time series values and merits and demerits of that calculations. But we have some merits and demerits of these calculations also. So how you are going to use this time series data and also the time calculations, the applications and uses of time series you have to learn first. So the main components of time series are the factors which influences the time series values. You can see here that is a long term fluctuations, so we can call it them as a secular trend or trend. Similarly, the short term fluctuations are the second type, uh, or periodic fluctuations or seasonal fluctuations we can call it as. Next, third one, the irregular fluctuations or random fluctuations. Yeah, trend, seasonal variations and cyclic variance also we are going to have. The next irregular variations or random variables. So first of all we have to look at the long term fluctuations which we are going to call it as the secular trend or trend. The variation of the time series with a span of long periods are called the long term fluctuations. General such smooth long term average tendency of the data to increase or stable during a long period of time is called secular trend or trend. So these trends are majorly divided into the three types, that is first one, upward trend and downward trend and stable trend. So what is upward, what is downward, what is stable trend? So here we have to do a long term fluctuations. We have to have in our time series data the factors may influences the time series values by taking the long period. Okay, so here uh, if the if you look at the upward trend, if the time increases affects the time series values also increases, then this trend is said to be upward trend. Similarly, we can see an example over here, that is population growth, downward trend. If the time series increases, the affects the time series values decrease. This is called the downward uh, trends. So here you can see the example also, that is epidemics. Next, coming to the stable trend, even even if the data uh, time increases, the time series values are uh, cannot disturbed. So the type of trend calculations or trend values are said to be the stable. So in any business organization, the trend never be upward or downward finally. So it may be sometimes stable. If you won't get any profit or loss, the times you are said to be in the stable. So that type of trend comes under over here. So this is called stable trend. This is the first factor of the time series. Next, if you look at the short term fluctuations, they are going to comes under here. uh, Very short term fluctuations are which is less than to the trend calculations or trend fluctuations. So here the variation in the time series with a span of short period. So and this time series gets the same or nearly the same value after regular intervals of the same time is called short term. So periodic fluctuations, there are two types. Short term fluctuations are, one is seasonal fluctuations and second one cyclic fluctuations. So what is seasonal fluctuations? So sales of umbrellas in a rainy season, sales of woolen cloths increases in the winter seasons. Like this, we are having some seasonal. The number of sales are maybe fluctuated by having these seasonal effects. So the variations in a time series are due to some uh, seasonal effect, so which we can call it as seasonal fluctuations on our time series data. So these are best examples for uh, seasonal fluctuations: sales of umbrellas and also uh, the woolen cloths in a winter season. Yeah, the variations in the time series due to customs and traditions such as marriages, festivals, etc., may affect the time series data due to man-made conventions also. Next, this is one of the best example. Sales of gold and silver ornaments increases in the festival and marriages season. Excellent. So these examples are very uh, good or best example for seasonal fluctuations to understand. Next, cyclic fluctuations. Here uh, regularly they are going to ask you what is cyclic. So the oscillatory movements in a time series uh, with a period of more than 1 year are termed as cyclic fluctuations. One complete period is called a cycle. This is plays a very important value. That is, one complete period is called a cycle. So the cyclic fluctuations you can see over here. Uh, the cyclic movements in a time series are generally observed In business, there are four cycles in a business. They are: first one, prosperity; second one, recession; third one, depression; fourth one is recovery. For complete these four cycles generally require 7 to 11 years. So time series related to prices, production, wages, etc. According to the cyclic fluctuations, you have these four things. They are prosperity and recession and depression. Third one is recovery. So this is also one of the cyclic fluctuations, so which we can easily understood by taking an example of business. Okay, so first of all, these cycle fluctuations are can be easily understood by uh, seeing this prosperity, recession, depression, and recovery values. So what is prosperity? So if you start a business, it is not going to be stable at the same level. So it may increases or it may decreases. Okay, so first of all, we are trying to improve our business, so that is comes under the prosperity. It reaches one highest goal of that business. Then after, it may falls into the recession also. Sometimes it may comes underneath, so that type of things comes under depression. So it goes to the minus levels. Coming to the recovery, if you are bring from minus levels, then it is called it is stable at our zero level. That times that turns into the recovery. Okay, so these are the four stages you are going to have in your cyclic fluctuations. Next, coming to the last but not least, that is irregular fluctuations. These are all very important calculations to understand the components of time series. So here, what are the components, the factors which may influences our time series data? Okay, this plays very important role. The variation of the time series not due to trend or seasonal or cyclic fluctuations, but affected by an unknown forces or uh, forces in a time series is called irregular or random fluctuations. In addition to the cyclic, seasonal, and trend variations in the time series, some irregular variations are also taken place. These these variations are purely random and unpredictable, which is very important. Please, you have to understood the unpredictable predictable term, because which we can't able to expect what is going to be happen. So and uh, which are the beyond the control of the human being. So due to earthquakes and wars, floods, etc. Hence, these variations are otherwise called episode fluctuations. In some cases, the irregular variations have no importance, but in some time series data. So, very important uh, time series fluctuations, that is irregular fluctuations, very important. So these are the four components. These are the components are very important to understand in our time series data. Okay, so time series calculations are very easy to understand if you understood about their factors. Okay, so The time series data can easily understood if you know about the time series applications and where you are going to apply this time series in business. Okay, so what are the components are of the time series? In examination they may ask you the question like this: define time series and write about the time series. Give your examples about time series and also write the components of time series. Okay, very simple and easy if you know these concepts. Again I am repeating. Okay, to understanding purpose, again, these components are the factors which may influences our time series data. Okay, by the way, what do you understand by the time series? A data with respected to the time. Okay, if you consider one example, if you consider one example, if a company is there, the company name is called XYZ. Okay, it may have the number of sales. It may have the number of sales. In 1991, it is having some sales, 1000 sales, 1100 sales, 92 in the year 93. It is having 250 sales only. Uh, in 94, 95, 96, 97, all those years are containing number of sales. So here the time is our independent variable. The number of sales are called the dependent variable. Okay, which we may call as dependent variable. Okay, the time series data is having bivariate data. Okay, so any data with respected to the time, here the years are the time. Okay, so simply we can easily understood these things. So this time series data, uh, by studying about this time series data, we have to predict the future tendencies by seeing this previous years of the statistics or time series data, the years and the number of sales. You have to predict the number of sales in the year 2024. Can you? By studying this time series analysis, by sitting here itself, you can easily estimate the number of sales. Not exactly, but you may predict. Okay, IQ. So this type of calculations are called the time series analysis. So the time series data can be predictable by applying equations. Okay, so the components of time series are majorly we have these three types: long term fluctuations, which we can call it as trend; short term fluctuations, which we can call it as periodic fluctuations; third one seasonal; and third one is called irregular fluctuations, or we can simply say that random fluctuations. So you can have in long term fluctuations also, you have upward, downward, okay, trend, like this types, and with the examples also I given. The upward trend calculation for this, the population growth. If you consider another example, the prices of the gold, the prices of the petrol, day by day it is keep on increasing. Next, downward trends. So if the time increases also, it is going to be decreases, the profits, losses, like that, income levels of a family, or okay, sometimes. Next is stable, the business trends, we can have this stable trend. Next, short-term fluctuations are called the short-term fluctuations are called uh, uh, which is less than 1 year. Sometimes it may have the seasonal fluctuations, and cyclic fluctuations are more than, okay, more than seasonal, but less than trend or secular trend. Please note this point. Next, seasonal and cyclic variations. Last but not least, irregular fluctuations. So this is the introduction class about the time series, which we may look forward for the next class. Thank you.